So good morning, and welcome to yoga. If you're watching the replay, and I know from some of the feedback that lots of you aren't able to join us live, if you're watching the replay, then obviously have to start, and there are another 12 minutes before the class will start. So fast forward by 12 in the chat, or let it run and go make this property. If you are watching live, then we'll start in 12 minutes. So I just need time to make sure that the connection is stable, and I've got sound and I've got visual, and all the tech is set up. Because that's the most stressful thing for me about teaching online classes, is hoping that all the tech works. The other stressful thing, it's not stressful thing, but the other challenging thing is that I can't see you, and I do know. So some of you are my regulars, and that cheers me up and has certainly been a source of great sustenance to me in this crisis. I know that some of my regulars are still turning up at a regular time on that, and that even though we can't see each other, even though I can't see you and you can't see the other participant, I think there is something really precious and special about the fact that we are practicing together, even though we can't see that. So thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for practicing whenever you practice. Thank you for sticking to your practice, which all helps to spread yoga throughout the world. It's been around for a lot longer than any of us have, so you could argue that it didn't need any of us. But it suddenly is, or recently is enjoying a bit of a revival, and I think that is, for me at least, a great source of hope for the world that more people are taking up yoga, and maybe more lives are affected positively by the principles of living a yogic life. So if you've joined already, as I said, we've got 10 minutes before class starts, so if you don't want to join in the preamble, you don't have to. You can just rejoin in 10 minutes or fast forward, or you can use these moments to settle yourself. Okay, I'm going to test the sound again. I'm getting a message to say that it's not very clear. So if you could let me know how that is for you. The microphone is, I'm going to turn it off and on just so that I can check that's working. Okay, so I've had a message through the microphone that that is now connected. It did take a little while, so maybe the connection dropped between the mic and the PC. I'm hoping that's solved, so I'd be really grateful if you can let me know if that's now working. I'll carry on talking and hope that, let's see if that's anything else I can adjust. See if I can adjust any volume on it. Okay, I can adjust the volume, so let's try that. I did use the same headset on the Zoom class last night and it was all fine, so let's hope. I don't know what happened. Great, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you took the trouble to let me know, so thank you for that. Okay. Good. So good morning, those at home. We've got 5 minutes till the start of class. I hope that all the tech is working now. As I said earlier, it is for me the most stressful thing. I love teaching. I've had to invest in and learn about lots of different bits of kit, including a state-of-the-art microphone. So it's very rewarding to know that it's actually working and a little bit upsetting when it doesn't. So thank you for letting me know that that wasn't working. I hope that it will continue to work throughout class. So let's just take a few minutes to get set up. If you're already in position, then take a few moments to connect with your breath. If you're just settling on the mat, or if you're new, then make sure you've got a non-slip mat. Mine's a very spongy one because of a very hard floor, which is a bit more wobbly when we do balances. So it's not perfect, but I like a bit of cushioning on a horizontal floor for my aging knees. So have whatever you have under your feet, make sure you're not going to slip. If you're on a carpet, you might need grippy socks. Or just be a little bit careful, just be mindful of your circumstances and be mindful of the fact that you haven't got a teacher in the room. So be your own teacher, listen to your inner voice. Only you know what you bring physically and mentally and emotionally to the mat. So if there's a pose or a posture that doesn't suit you physically because of things that are going on in your body, then either adapt it or leave it out. If there's a pose that doesn't suit you emotionally, you can leave that out too. There's nobody in the class to pass judgment, not that you should pass judgment anyway on one another, but there's no one to make any how you might decide to stop the practice. So if there's a pose you don't like for whatever reason, if it brings up things from your emotional layers that you don't like, you just want to sit with it for a moment, then you can stop. That is the advantage of being online rather than in a class. There are hardly many advantages, but that is one. That it trains us to become our inner teacher, to listen to our inner voice, to know ourselves a little bit better. That only works if we're really attentive and mindful. So, especially if you've been working with me since the engineering, as you get more used to working in this situation, be very mindful of what you're doing, how it feels on the inside. So you don't need to copy me. A lot of you know what you're doing anyway. And besides which, I'm only human. My posture isn't perfect. I'm trying to improve all the time, but it isn't perfect. There is no perfect in yoga. There is only the way in which you journey in and out of posture to help you find your boundary and become. So listen to your voice, listen to the instructions, find your way to the pose, and when you do, trust that. So it's midday, we're going to begin our class. Hello, welcome if you've just joined. Take a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting in Siddhasana, sage pose. You can sit with your legs crossed in Sukhasana, easy pose, or any seated posture where your spine is as long as you can make it. And some people have got straighter spines than others as a result of what we've done in our lives, or some of it is genetic. So don't judge yourself on how straight your back is. Just aim to find space in the spine by using your breath. Inhaling fully and exhaling deeply. When you inhale, be aware of that movement of air in the body, movement of air through the body, and when you exhale, exhale fully all the sludge, the toxic memory, get rid of what you no longer need, what no longer serves you. And as you inhale and exhale, those breaths are nicely balanced. Then your pelvic floor will draw up as your tailbone and your pubic bone and your seated bones draw down. Bring the hands together with your right thumb on top. Bring your palms together and stretch your knuckles towards you. As you do so, draw your belly button to your spine and round the back. Inhale as you draw your hands back in, flip the palms, and exhale as you send the palms towards you. Keep going with that movement. You can move with your own breath once you've got the hang of it, or I'll continue to talk you through it. We exhale as the fists come forward. We inhale as the palms come towards the belly. We exhale again, flipping the hands so the palms face outwards and maybe slightly upwards as we start to warm up. That's the move. Inhale, palms come towards the belly. Exhale, knuckles move away. Spine rounds. Inhale, palms towards the belly. Exhale, stretch up. Chest can come slightly forward, shoulder blades can come slightly back. So as we do many times in our breathing, in our cat-cow curl, we are exhaling as we flex the spine. And we're also exhaling this time as we exhale the spine. You can breathe as feels right for you. So I'm actually doing a pattern of 4 breaths. But you can shorten that if that feels right for you. So we're stretching, breathing, rounding the back, and extending the spine alternately as much or little as you feel able. So if you feel able to make this move slightly stronger, then do so. Next time you come up to the top, hold that stretch, press your palms actively towards the ceiling, so you're stretching up the back of the wrist, and then release the hands down to the side. Press your right fingers into the mat, stretch your left arm up and over, and take a side bend. Inhale to the centre, bring the other arm up to meet, release the top arm down to the bottom. That makes sense. We're going on the other side. I think that makes sense. Not sure the other bit did. Inhale to the centre And exhale, release the arms down. Now clasp the hands behind, still with the right thumb on top. Bring the palms together and draw the knuckles down. That's quite a big stretch. You're drawing your shoulder blades together and you're opening up the spine. If it feels good for you, you can take the knuckles a little bit higher, still drawing your shoulder blades together, maybe dropping the head down a little bit and taking the arms overhead. So that's quite strong. It doesn't suit you, so do it. Inhaling to come back out and releasing the hands. Now we're going to go again with the left thumb on top, same as before, rounding the spine, exhaling, and then inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you stretch away, and inhaling as you come back. Or you can breathe as suits you. You could even exhale here and inhale here. So much depends on how quickly you want to move and how slowly you want to breathe. As long as you are breathing, as long as you're conscious of your breathing, as long as you're finding some flow so that the movement is smooth. If you notice any areas of your spine which are sticky or feel a bit stuck, then use your breath to try and move through them. We'll do one more, whichever breath pattern you settle on, and don't get hung up on the breath. It doesn't work for you. Make sure that you are actually breathing. And then gently release your hands. Again, left thumb on top. Back stretch. Drawing the shoulder blades together, sending the knuckles away, inhaling here, and then exhaling as you tilt forward if it's suitable to you. Stretching the arms up and overhead. One more breath here. Inhale to draw down and then release to the side. Try and stretch here. Fingertips stretch away. And then to the other side. So stretch the legs out in front. We're coming into Dandasana. Keep sniffing. Stretching the feet away, pressing through the ball of the foot. So really active in all the toe mounds here. Pressing the heels away as well. So you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Don't lock out the knee though. If you can avoid it, keep a very slight softness in the knee while stretching the hamstrings. Now draw your right leg in, press that foot into the mat and sit up as tall as you can. From here we're going to twist to the right. So take your left hand around your right shin, take your right fingers behind and look over your right shoulder. Keeping both seated bones firmly planted on the floor. Inhale to the centre and then exhale, send the right leg away. Inhale, draw the left leg in, sit up as tall as you can, lift and lengthen, and now we're going to the left. So your right arm wraps around the left leg, left hand comes behind, stay active in that right foot. And look over to the left. This is one of the Marichi poses. Marichi Asana. Send that leg away, find your Dandasana again. So from here we're moving into Ardha Matsyendrasana. The right foot comes in again, but this time it goes over the left thigh and we sit upright. Find your length in this pose. You can stay here and twist to the right, or you can draw the left heel in towards the right buttock. If you're doing that, you want to make sure that both seated bones are firmly planted on the floor. What's going to want to happen is this right hip's going to want to pull up, or the right toe is going to try and lift up. So you want to press down through your big toe here and your big toe round and the inner foot while keeping your right seated bone firmly planted. Inhale for length and then we'll twist into the right. So here you might be able to get your arm, the outer arm to the outer thigh, press the palm away and that's going to give you a little bit more leverage as you twist to the right. But only go as far as feels good for you. We're twisting the spine here, we want to be gentle with ourselves. One more breath here. So this pose is set to stoke the digestive fire. So you want to be bringing your left hip in towards your right inner thigh, so you feel that twist in the belly as well. Inhale to the center, release, stretch away. Again, fire through the feet, and we're ready to go on the left side. Press your left leg across your right, left big toe into the mat. You can stay here, you can do the twist with the leg outstretched, especially if you've got any issues in this right knee. Otherwise, fold that right heel towards your left hip, adjust your hips so both your seated bones are down. Look what happens to my toe here. Push that hip down and the toes flying up off the floor. So I'm going to try and encourage it back down. Lift and lengthen and then retwist to the left. So you can hug your knee in, or you can take the arm to the outer thigh, press the palm towards the wall and lift and lengthen. So for me, this was quite different on this side to the other side. So that's what I mean about being mindful, growing your interoception, your sense of where you are in the pose. I'm quite conscious there's something different going on this side than the other. Not entirely sure what it is, but I'm just conscious that it does feel different in the hips. And that may be the same for you too. One side of the body may feel quite different. We have, after all, different histories, different things that happened to different parts of our body at different times. Inhale to the front and exhale to lengthen. This is what I mean when I say that everyone brings something different to the mat. We have no idea what anyone else has been doing on their journey. So we're coming up to standing at the front of the mat. So have plenty of mat behind you. We're going to do a straightforward sequence just to warm up. And then we're going to add on some slightly more complicated warriors and balances. But if you're regulars, you'll have done all of this before, I'm sure. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, take the arms up and over, press your palms together, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, come into Uttanasana, a deep forward fold. Make sure your hands come to the floor, bend your knees deeply if you need to. We inhale into a right leg lunge, or rather the right leg comes back, left leg is forward. Wrap the shoulders back and down. Lift your chest. Power through your back heel. Find length in this pose. Now press both hands into the mat and come into plank. Hold your plank if you can, or come to your knees if you need to. So here you want to spin your inner elbows forward. Wrap your shoulders back and down. And be careful here to keep some weight in your little fingers and widen between your shoulder blades. Sometimes see a bit of collapse in the upper chest here. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. Bring your knees to the floor and tuck your toes. Bring the chest and chin down into Ashtanga, keeping the hips high. Snug your elbows in tightly to the sides of your body as you draw yourself forward. And then take the shoulders away from the ears, eye gaze down. Tuck the toes, press up, come to your knees transitionally, and then into downward facing dog. As the heels come down, the hips come up. Relax your head and neck, or rather release your head and neck. Press into the finger pad to lift the wrists slightly. Take the pressure out of the wrists. From here, inhale, bring your right leg all the way to the front of your mat. Set up that lunge again. Be light in your fingertips and not hanging out on your hips. You want to use the back leg to lift you up here. And then exhale, bring your left leg forward into forward fold. Inhale. As you bend, you re-stack the vertebrae coming up to extended mountain pose and exhaling hands to your heart center. We'll do that on the left. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale, the left leg comes to the back of the mat here. Again, be light, be long in the front body. Press into both hands and find your plank. Straight to the knees if you want to. Otherwise, plank is a really good strengthening core exercise. From here, knees, chest, chin, come down to the mat, untucking the toes. Scoop your chest forward and inhale into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. You can come a little bit higher if your back feels warm now. We exhale to come into downward facing dog. We inhale to lunge the left leg forward. Help it if you need to. Exhale, bring the right leg to meet forward fold. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. So now we're going to add on. Inhale the arms up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, take your right leg back into lunge. And exhale, bring that back foot down and come up into warrior one. So take a couple of breaths to set up your warrior one. You want your hips facing the short end of your mat or facing in the same direction. The hips are closed. You may need to adjust your back foot, which should be ideally at a 45-degree angle, but we're all different. Or adjust your front foot to get your hips level. Tuck the tailbone, press through your back heel. Stretch the arms up if that suits you, or leave them on your hips if it doesn't. Open your chest. Power through that back heel. Feel the stretch. Warrior one. Inhale here and transition to warrior two. So adjust the feet, heels in line or heel in line with the arch. And then bend deeply into that front leg that keeps some strength in the blade of the back foot. Inhale and exhale. Come deeper if you can. Drishti is down your front fingers. Inhale, come into Viparita Virabhadrasana, keeping low in the hips here, taking your front arm up, your back arm down, stretching through the left side of the body. Exhale, extended side angle, Uttita Parsvakonasana, stretching the fingertips from the blade of the back foot, opening the chest. From here, we're coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So you may be able to straighten both legs, straighten both arms, or you may want to adjust your legs and draw the back leg in slightly to give you a better posture. Hand can come here or here, wherever you're comfortable. Open the chest and draw your crown away from your tailbone. Imagine you're pressing your shoulders into a wall. From here, floating half moon. Bend into the front leg, slide that back leg up, send your eye gaze down your front thumb, and when you've got your balance, lift your back foot or not. If you've got a block here, you'd like to rest your hand on the block, you can do. Or you can bring your fingertips to the floor and take a bend in that front leg. Now, inhale, take your left fingers to the side, bring your right fingers down. So we're in a warrior three variation with our arms stretched out to the side. So close that right hip, and then when you're ready, take your right fingers down and stretch your left fingers up. So we're in revolved, floating, half moon. And then from there we're coming into revolved triangle. So drop the back foot down, adjust the feet if you need to, and see if you can now revolve to the left. So come out of it. Release the arms, bend the front knee, again adjust the back foot if you need to, and find your way back into warrior one. From warrior one, inhale, float your hands down, adjust the back foot, we're back in lunge now. From lunge, we move into plank, retaining the breath. From here, we retrieve the earlier sequence, so that's knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga if it's in your practice. Coming through to cobra or upward dog if that's in your practice. From here we exhale into downward dog. Move with your breath. And then we inhale to lunge the right foot all the way forward to the front of the mat. Exhale, bring the left foot to meet it. Forward fold. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, draw down to your heart center. We're going to do that on the other side. I'm changing ends. Partly because I'm bashing my head on the piano, but also so that you can see me in the warrior two. Inhale up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg comes into the lunge. And then we exhale and we come into warrior one. So as we did on the other side, take a couple of extra breaths here. You want to make sure that your warrior one is clearly distinguishable from your warrior two. Your hips are closed here. Take the arms up or not. Shoulders back, chest lifts. Maybe a tiny bit of a back bend, if that suits you. Inhale and adjust to warrior two. So adjust your feet as you need to. Heel to heel or heel to arch. So that depends on the ratios in your own body. You know, some people have longer legs than others, some people have wider hips than others, male to female are different. So your alignment is where you find that you can get into the posture. Inhale and exhale. Look down your front fingers. Inhale, flip the front palm. Viparita Virabhadrasana, reversed warrior. Exhale, Utthita Konasana, extended side angle. Find the line in this pose if you can, using light pressure on that forearm to open your chest. From here, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, you might need to draw that back leg in a little. From here, we bend the front leg, we adjust the back leg. I'm going to come off the mat because it's slipping all over the place. And we come into, I'm going to regret that when I revolve, floating half moon. Looking down your front fingers, find your balance here. Take extra breaths here if you need to. From here, we're going to revolve. We come into that version of Warrior 3 where our arms are stretched out to the side like an aeroplane. Close the hips and come into revolved floating half moon. And from there, when you're ready, into your revolved triangle. Use your breath. It's quite a challenging pose. When you're ready to come out of that, bend your front leg and come back into Warrior 1. Take a few breaths to set up your Warrior 1. Square off the hips, open the chest. Take that bend if you want to. Inhale to lunge, lifting the back heel. Retain the breath in plank. From here, Ashtangasana, or if you're coming into Dandasana, come down in a straight line without touching down, slide through into upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Just take a couple of extra breaths in your downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to float down to all fours and exhale into child's pose. Breathe deeply in your child's pose and take a well-earned rest. For our next move, inhale back onto all fours, cross your feet at the ankles, roll over your feet and stretch your legs out in front in Dandasana. So adjust your position on the mat so you've got plenty of mat behind you, and then place your feet down on your mat and sit up tall. So here you'll really be aware of your seated bones, because as you draw your chest towards your thighs, you find that you're sort of perched on your seated bones, and that enables you to get your spine a little bit longer. We're coming into Navasana, float pose. So take hold of the backs of your thighs and keeping your spine as long as possible, lift the heels and come onto the toes. So you'll start to tilt back, but you want to avoid rounding. So do that by drawing your lower ribs up towards your thighs and re-engaging that sensation of perching on your sitting bones. From here, you can walk the toes a little bit further in. Maybe you find a point where you can float one shin up or two shins up. So if you're wobbling like anything at this point, that's fine. It will really make your abdominal muscles work, which is good. You can put your fingertips on the floor. If you find this position easy peasy, then you can lengthen your legs away and take your eye gaze to your toes. I'm doing that, that's not because I find it easy peasy. I feel obliged to demonstrate. So lift your chest and bring it towards your thighs. My teacher taught us that we should never demonstrate, we should guide people using verbal cues. But as I can't see you, do what has to be done. Hold it here if you can. And then cross your legs, make a note of which legs on top. We come to a forward fold, bring your forearms to the mat, stretch your ground away from the tail. round and look at the belly if that feels good. Inhale, press up. We're going to do one more round of that move. Whichever option suits you, fingers on the floor, hands to the back of the thighs, no hands. Bent legs, straight legs, toes on the floor. Whatever you're doing, you're trying to draw your chest in towards your thighs, balancing here on a tripod of your sitting bones and your tailbone. Option is to straighten the legs and take your eye gaze to your feet. Choice is yours. Should feel it in the lower belly. You're feeling, if you're straightening the legs and it's starting to feel uncomfortable in either the knees or in the hip flexors, then come back to the bent leg position. Harder than about a half boat pose. Not half boat, it's half a pose. I think I've cracked that joke before. Didn't any laugh then either. So this time we're coming forward with the other foot in front, if you can remember which one was in front before, coming down to the forearms and rounding here. Step into the fingertips and come up. So the next move, I'm going to give you a couple of options. So wherever you are, make sure you've got plenty of mat behind you, as I said before. You've got the option of happy baby balancing pose. You'll be familiar, I think, with happy baby. We're going to do this balancing on the seated pose. You take hold of the soles of your feet, and maybe you lift one foot, maybe you lift 2 feet, and you balance here, holding onto your feet. So that's happy baby balancing pose. If you're feeling ambitious today or you'd like to try something new, then again, have plenty of space behind you. You can have a go at Urdhva Mukha Paschimottanasana, upward facing, intense stretch of the west side of the body. And in this pose, we're going to try and straighten your legs. So far, so good. And try and keep drawing your chest ever closer to your thigh. This is quite high risk for me. When I do this, I tend to fall over backwards, which is why I'm warning you to make sure you've got plenty of space behind you in a soft landing feeling it. So the nearer you get to vertical, the more risk there is of tipping over backwards, or the more challenging it is to stay upright. If that happens, just roll and back up again and have another go. And then wherever you are, come forward and take a fold. Come back up again, place the feet on the floor. Again, make sure you've got plenty of mat behind you. We're coming down to supine now. So engage with the stomach muscles, draw your belly button to your spine and see if you can come down, slowly turn it. And when we get there, we're actually nearly out of time. We're going to take a bridge pose. So if you've had enough, or if you've got to rush off, come into Shavasana now. Otherwise, press your hands into the mat so your palms come down next to your feet. Feet hip distance apart. Make sure that your feet, your knees, your hips, your shoulders are in 2 tran lines down the body. Inhale here, exhale, press into the feet. Start to lift the tailbone up and off the floor. Make sure that here your legs aren't floating out to the side, so press through all 4 corners of the feet. Engage with your thighs and send your knees over your feet. Coming up onto your shoulders. So when you get here, you want to work a bit harder, clasp your hands together underneath your tailbone. Draw your shoulder blades closer together. If you come onto the outer shoulders, that's going to give you a little bit more space to lift the chest, lift the thoracic spine towards the chin. But don't lift the chin. You want to keep the back of the neck nice and open and lift the chest. This is not comfortable for you, don't do it. Use your breath. Couple more breaths here, holding if you can. Come out of it whenever you've had enough. It's not for everybody. If you're quite well endowed, you might find that you don't breathe very well in this position, in which case it's just not the pose for you. A lot of these poses evolve around practices where people trained, only boys, not women, boys trained at a young age, so they had skinny hips, very little body fat, and obviously no breasts, so they didn't have the challenge of what happens in this position if you are an adult. to take another pose if it doesn't suit. Inhale here, as you exhale, release the shoulders, release the hands, press into the hands and draw down slowly, one vertebra at a time. And when you get to the mat, release everything. Draw one knee in, draw the other knee in, and give yourself a hug. Rocking the hips gently from side to side to release off the lower back. Take some circles now. Rolling the knees one way and rolling them the other. And then release your feet into semi-supine. You can stay in semi-supine if you're feeling it in the lower back, or you can lock your knees together. That gives you a little bit more support in semi-supine. Your lower back's feeling absolutely fine. Stretch the legs away and come into Shavasana. Let your feet drop out to the side. So open your palms to the ceiling. Backs of the hands come to the mat. Soften the shoulders into the mat. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes, close the eyes. So today, your gift to yourself, should you wish to give it and receive it, give it a little bit longer in Shavasana. It is, however, 12:30. At the same time, if for whatever reason that time is not able to do, if you're on your time, and you can find an extra 5 to 10 minutes to give to yourself and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, every day, hope that you will join me in